A lady named Thang Sing Mar from Jiribam died yesterday after first dose of COVID vaccination on February 17 at Guakhal Primary Health Center. She was an Anganwadi worker serving in Jiribam district of Tuisolane village. Chief Minister and Biren Singh unveiled a statue of Shahid Subedar Niranjan Singh Chhetri at Kanglatongbi in Imphal West District today. India must develop military into a future force, says PM Modi. Myanmar protesters rally after overnight raids. And Manipur COVID death toll has remained 373 for the last couple of weeks. 3 new positive cases of COVID-19 reported in Manipur during the last 24 hours. While 6 recovery cases reported, the number of active cases has declined to 28, while the recovery rate is 98.63%. Hello and welcome to Jiri News Network. I am Bharti Devi with English News Today. Before going over to news in details, Jiri News Network appeals to all its viewers to stay safe from coronavirus. Wash your hands and face frequently, wear face mask and maintain physical distancing whenever you step outside. These simple precautions are all that it takes to defeat the ongoing pandemic. And now over to the news in details. A lady named Thang Sing Mar from Jiribam died yesterday after first dose of COVID vaccination on February 17 at Guakhal Primary Health Center. She was an Anganwadi worker serving in Jiribam district of Tuisolane village. As narrated by her own daughter Sangpui Mar through mobile phone, her mother was vaccinated on February 17 at Guakhal Primary Health Center. As she was complaining of high fever the same night, she was taken to Jiri Hospital and treated for 3 days. As her condition deteriorated, she was taken to different hospitals such as Alipur Hospital, Kasar, Valley Hospital, Silchar. Then she expired on the way to Silchar Medical College Hospital, Gungur. CM and Biren Singh unveiled a statue of Shahid Subedar Niranjan Singh Chhetri, one of the heroes of Anglo-Manipur War 1891 and a confidant of Bir Tikendrajit at Kanglatongbi in Imphal West District today. Subedar Niranjan Singh Chhetri was hanged to death by Britishers for his role in the war on June 8, 1891. He was initially a sepoy in the 34th Native Infantry of British Army. However, he left the Britishers to join the Army of Manipur Kingdom. He was appointed as Subedar by Bir Tikendrajit Singh. Speaking on the occasion, and Biren Singh said that Gorkhas should never get discouraged with the notion that they belong to a minority community in Manipur, stating that the present government would never tolerate suppression of smaller groups by the bigger communities. The story of Subedar Niranjan Singh Chhetri is the testimony that Gorkhas also contributed their might in safeguarding the freedom of Manipur, he observed. The Chief Minister further said that the construction of statues of patriots who had laid down their lives for the sake of motherland is going on at different places. This include Thangal General, Chirai Naga, Maharaj Gambhir Singh, Maharaj Narsingh, etc., he added. As requested by the Gorkha community of Manipur, another statue of Subedar Niranjan Singh Chhetri would be erected at a proper place soon, the Chief Minister announced. Prime Minister Modi stresses importance of optimizing manpower planning in both military and civilian parts of the national security architecture. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has called for enhancing indigenization in the national security system and developing the Indian military into future force. He said indigenization was needed not just in sourcing equipments and weapons, but also in the doctrines, procedures, and customs practice in the armed forces. The Prime Minister, addressing the valedictory session of the Combined Commanders Conference at Kevadia in Gujarat, also stressed the importance of optimizing manpower planning in both military and civilian part of the national security architecture. The Combined Commanders Conference at the Kevadia was a fruitful one. There were extensive deliberation on various strategic subjects, highlighted the need for making India Atmanirbhar in the defense sector and reiterated the government's support for it, PM Modi tweeted. The Prime Minister pointed out the country would be celebrating 75 years of its independence next year and called upon the armed forces to use the occasion to undertake activities and initiatives that would inspire the youth of the country. Manipur Government Higher Secondary Lecturers Welfare Association expressed their appreciation to the Government of Manipur in a press release by General Secretary M. Jadumani for the termination of a fake appointment higher secondary teacher who was being promoted even to the principal post, which was a long pending demand of the association. The association is also very much thankful to the opposition MLA Gai Khangnam and K.H. Joykishan for their great help and responsibilities in this regard. Myanmar protesters back on the streets following overnight raids in parts of Yangon that targeted figures from the National League for Democracy. People react after police fire tear gas during protests in Yangon. Tens of thousands of anti-coup protesters have taken to the streets across Myanmar despite an escalating crackdown, including overnight raids in the main city of Yangon targeting activists and officials from Aung San Suu Kyi's party, the National League for Democracy. A local campaign manager for the NLD died in custody after being arrested in Yangon on Saturday night, a legislator from the now dissolved parliament said in a Facebook post, and the Irrawaddy News website reported. The cause of Kin Mong Lat's death was not known, but Reuters news agency saw a photograph of his body with a blood-stained cloth around the head. Chief Minister N. Biren Singh has said that the government fully understands the grievances of VDF personnel and it would be looked into in due course of time, taking the financial position of the state into account. He was speaking as the chief guest at the 12th state level Raising Day celebration of the force held today at the auditorium of Manipur State Film Development Society Palace compound. And Biren Singh said that the government had already hiked the honorarium of VDF personnel to Rs 8,500 and ration money to Rs 2,000, understanding their nature of duty and acknowledging their contribution towards maintaining law and order in the state. stating that there is perhaps a tendency among some organizations in Manipur to take the government on ransom to meet their demands. The Chief Minister observed that such practice should be avoided as nothing good can be achieved by stop performing duties in protest or to fulfill a demand. And Biren Singh asked the high-ranking officers of Manipur Police Department not to use media personnel in their personal works and not to indulge in activity which may hurt their dignity, because every man has self-esteem. The Chief Minister also said that the present government always fulfills valid demands and there is no exception for the media personnel as well. Maud Minister O. Henry, MP Dr. R.K. Ranjan, DGP L.M. Khaute, ADGP C. Dongal, All Manipur BDF Welfare Association Chief Advisor Wangkhemcha Samjai, and the Morning Bell publisher L. Besanta Sharma also attended the celebration as dignitaries. The national capital stands third on the list of states and the union territories with most contaminated sites, according to the Pollution Control Board. Odisha tops the list of 23 contaminated sites, followed by Uttar Pradesh and Delhi. Balswa and Gajipur landfill sites, industrial areas at Jhilmil, Wajirpur New Friends Colony, Dilshad Garden and Lawrence Road are among the 11 contaminated sites in Delhi. According to the Union Environment Ministry, contaminated sites are delineated areas in which the constituents and characteristics of the toxic and hazardous substances caused by humans exist at levels and in conditions which pose existing or imminent threats to human health and the environment. Contaminated sites may include production areas, landfills, dumps, waste storage and treatment sites, mine tailing sites, spill sites, chemical waste handler, and storage sites located in various land uses. Remediation work has been started to clean up 14 contaminated sites in 7 states on direction of the National Green Tribunal. These states include Gujarat, Jharkhand, Kerala, Maharashtra, Orissa, Tamil Nadu and Uttar Pradesh. Chief Minister and Biren Singh flagged off a cycle rally organized as part of the week-long celebration of Jan Aushadhi Divas 2021. The rally will spread the message of importance of central government's Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana passed through Governor's Crossing, Kaishampa Traffic Point, Wangkhempam Laikai, Samu Makhong, Kangla Gate, Khoyathong, Lila Singh Khongnangkhong before culminating Chingmairong. The rally was organized by Eastern Pharma Division in association with Manipur Adventure and Mountain Biking Association. Chief Minister and Biren Singh distributed around 4,000 Thang Tha mats to 40 different Thang Tha organizations under an initiative taken up with his supervision to popularize the indigenous martial arts of Manipur in a function held at Indoor Stadium, Khuman Lampak today. Speaking on occasion, the Chief Minister said that the mats were provided for convenience of martial art players in their training. Despite its small size and less population, Manipur had glorious history of 2000 years as an independent kingdom. It could not only defend its territory on its own but also expand its boundary from time to time by defeating neighboring kingdoms, as it had a disciplined army well versed in different forms of martial arts, the Chief Minister said, stating that Manipuris were disciplined people who could lay down lives for their motherland. The Chief Minister observed that their discipline and patriotism were derived from their age-old culture, tradition and customs, of which martial art was also a significant component. And Biren Singh said that the sense of sacrifice for the motherland came from patriotism, and Thangta gurus used to instill these values into young minds in the past. As such, it is indispensable to encourage the youth to practice martial arts to revive and sustain this discipline, and also to rebuild a healthy society free from drugs and intoxicants, the Chief Minister said. He added that the government would extend all possible assistance to all the villages which aspire to establish training center or organization of any martial art form. Education Minister S. Rajan, Agriculture Minister O. Lukhoy, CAF and PD Minister T.A. Satyabrata, State Planning Board Deputy Chairman L. Rameshwar, Manipur Buildings and other construction workers, Welfare Board Chairman H. Dingo, and Committee for State Level Chief Minister Indigenous Martial Arts Convener K.S.H. Bharat Kumar were also seated on the dais as dignitaries. Manipur COVID death toll has remained 373 for the last couple of weeks. 3 new positive cases of COVID-19 reported in Manipur during the last 24 hours, while 6 recovery cases reported. The number of active cases has declined to 28, while the recovery rate is 98.63%. The COVID-19 recovery rate in the country stands at 96.95%, with 14,392 people having been recovered in the last 24 hours. In the same time period, 18,711 new cases were reported. The number of active cases in the country stands at nearly 1,84,000, comprising around 1.65% of the total reported cases. The Health Ministry has informed that 100 deaths were reported in the last 24 hours due to the COVID-19, taking the cumulative toll to 1,57,756. Before we wind up, let's have a quick look at the headlines once again. A lady named Thang Sing Mar from Jiribam died yesterday after first dose of COVID vaccination on February 17 at Guakhal Primary Health Center. She was an Anganwadi worker serving in Jiribam district of Tuisolane village. Chief Minister and Biren Singh unveiled a statue of Shahid Subedar Niranjan Singh Chhetri at Kanglatongbi in Imphal West District today. India must develop military into a future force, says PM Modi. Myanmar protesters rally after overnight raids. And Manipur COVID death toll has remained 373 for the last couple of weeks. 3 new positive cases of COVID-19 reported in Manipur during the last 24 hours. While 6 recovery cases reported, the number of active cases has declined to 28, while the recovery rate is 98.63%. That's all from us for today in this news bulletin. We'll be back with some more English news updates on coming Sunday. Till then, keep watching GD News Network. Thank you very much indeed for your time. Stay safe and have a good day.